I'll never forget the moment my life shattered. It was a Wednesday evening, and I had come home early from work, eager to surprise my wife, Jennifer. Instead, I opened the door to the sound of laughter. Male voices mingled with hers, and then something unmistakable. Moans. My heart raced, denial taking hold even as my legs carried me upstairs. The door to our bedroom was ajar. I pushed it open, and there they were, Jennifer and 4 other men. They didn't even notice me at first, too lost in their frenzy. When Jennifer finally saw me, her face morphed from shock to something that resembled guilt. But she didn't stop. She didn't even try to explain. The men, on the other hand, burst into laughter when they noticed me standing there. It was the kind of laughter that mocked, that belittled, as if my presence was a punchline to some cruel joke. One of them even smirked and said, "Looks like we've got an audience." I walked away. My body moved on autopilot as I grabbed a suitcase, stuffed it with clothes, and left the house. I don't remember the drive to the hotel or the process of checking in. My mind replayed the scene over and over, each loop slicing deeper into my soul. The worst part was that I thought our marriage was good. More than good. I thought it was strong, unbreakable even. Jennifer and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5. We had built a life together, full of shared dreams and countless moments that I believed were filled with love and trust. I worked hard to provide for us. My job demanded long hours, late nights, and endless stress, but I didn't mind. I was proud to be the breadwinner, to give Jennifer the life she wanted. 3 years ago, she decided to quit her job to be a housewife. She said she wanted to focus on making our home a sanctuary, a place where we could both recharge after busy days. I was fully supportive. I loved the idea of her finding fulfillment in creating a space we could both enjoy. But over time, I noticed she didn't seem to do much at home. The house was often messy, and takeout containers became a staple in our trash. I'd come home to unwashed dishes and laundry piling up. When I gently brought it up, she'd brush me off with excuses about being too tired or needing a break. I told myself it didn't matter. I could live with a little chaos. After all, I thought we had love. That was enough for me. We had a routine, sure, but it was a comforting one. Friday nights were for takeout and movies. Sunday mornings were for coffee and long walks. We shared inside jokes that no one else could understand. She'd always laugh when I did my ridiculous dance moves while cooking, and I'd tease her about her obsession with true crime documentaries. I thought we had something rare, something that others envied. How blind I had been. Jennifer tried calling me that night, but I couldn't bring myself to answer. Over the next few days, she left voicemails, each one more desperate than the last. "It's not what it looked like," she claimed in one. "We need to talk," she pleaded in another. But I couldn't face her. Then the narrative shifted. My phone buzzed incessantly with messages from friends and family. My mother called me in tears. "How could you do this to Jennifer?" she cried. My best friend accused me of being unfaithful. It didn't take long to piece together what had happened. Jennifer was spinning a web of lies, telling everyone I was the one who had cheated, and they believed her. The harassment was relentless. I was called every name under the sun, disinvited from family events, and blocked by mutual friends. Jennifer, ever the actress, played the victim to perfection. It was maddening, but I didn't know how to fight back. I spent hours lying awake in my hotel room, questioning everything. How had I missed the signs? Had I been too trusting, too complacent? I replayed every interaction, every conversation, searching for clues. There was a time she started working late more often, the new outfits she suddenly bought, the text messages she would quickly hide. At the time, I had brushed it all off, trusting her completely. I had never imagined she was capable of such betrayal. Then fate intervened. A week later, I ran into one of the men I'd seen in my bedroom, a wiry guy with a cocky demeanor. He was at a coffee shop, chatting with someone, his phone left unattended on the table. Something inside me snapped. I grabbed the phone and bolted. Back in my hotel room, I powered it on. The phone wasn't locked, and what I found confirmed everything I'd witnessed. There were photos, videos, and messages between him and Jennifer, graphic evidence of their encounters. My hands shook as I scrolled through it all, anger and vindication swirling inside me. I knew what I had to do. I compiled the evidence and sent it to everyone who had turned against me. My parents, siblings, friends, even Jennifer's family. I included a simple message. Here's the truth. The fallout was immediate. Apologies flooded my inbox. My mother called me, sobbing, to beg for forgiveness. My best friend admitted he'd been wrong to believe Jennifer. It felt good to have my name cleared, but I wasn't done. Among the files on the stolen phone, I found the names of the other men. With a little online digging, I discovered 2 of them were married. I sent the evidence to their wives, anonymously. I wasn't looking for revenge. I just thought they deserved to know the truth. The court case that followed was like reliving the nightmare all over again. Jennifer tried to paint herself as the victim, claiming that I had known about and even supported her affairs. She wept in the courtroom, telling the judge that we had an open marriage and that I had suddenly changed my mind to make her look bad. Her lawyer presented fabricated text messages and twisted our history to fit her narrative. But I had the evidence. My lawyer played the videos and presented the messages from the stolen phone. The courtroom fell silent as the truth unfolded. Jennifer's tears dried up, replaced by a stony expression. The judge, an older woman with a no-nonsense demeanor, looked Jennifer square in the eye and said, "Mrs. Thompson, this court does not take kindly to lies and defamation. The evidence clearly contradicts your claims. I suggest you take responsibility for your actions." Jennifer tried to interrupt, insisting that the videos were taken out of context, but the judge wasn't having it. "Context?" she said, raising an eyebrow. "You expect this court to believe that your husband willingly allowed this, and then chose to leave his home and endure harassment because of it. Your story lacks credibility." The courtroom murmured in agreement. My lawyer went on to detail how Jennifer had orchestrated her smear campaign against me, presenting screenshots of her messages to our friends and family, urging them to turn against me. By the time he finished, Jennifer's facade had crumbled entirely. The divorce was finalized swiftly. I was granted everything I asked for, a clean break with no alimony and the ability to move on without any lingering ties to Jennifer. Her lies had destroyed her reputation, leaving her isolated and alone. Jennifer's world crumbled. The men distanced themselves from her, their own lives in tatters. Her friends turned their backs on her, disgusted by her betrayal and lies. She tried reaching out to me again, but this time, I didn't even listen to her voicemails. It's been 6 months since that nightmare ended. I'm still healing, but I've found peace in the truth. People now know who I am and what I stood for. And Jennifer? She's alone just as she deserves. Sometimes justice isn't about revenge. It's about reclaiming your story and making sure the truth is known. And yet, I still think about the life we once had, or at least the life I thought we had. I miss the person I believed Jennifer to be. I mourn the future we planned, the dreams we shared. But I've learned to accept that some people wear masks so convincing, you don't see the cracks until it's too late. Now, I'm focused on building a future that's real, with people who truly value honesty and loyalty. And for the first time in a long while, I feel free.
Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to get updates every time we post a new story.